Hello, good afternoon. Happy Sunday to you all. This is Banners Across the Pond, actually, episode 1 of Banners Across the Pond. As you may understand, that indicates the clan we're interviewing today is an EU clan, not an NA one. I didn't really want to start a whole new series for this, a whole new playlist. This is just to make it easier for everyone. So it's same series technically, just different demographic. And with that, I'll introduce the guests. We have the leader of the Oda clan, which is EXO, if you'll say hi,
Hello there.
and Mr. Pluto.
Hello.
Hello. Okay, so first question I'll start off with is, as always, who are you and how did you get to the game?
Well, my name is Exo. I am the current leader of the Oda clan, based in Europe. I got into this game, or into the Mountain Blade franchise, in 2013 when Warband released. I've played that game for a very long time, and then after its pretty much death of the persistent servers on Bannerlord launch, I bought the game and started playing there.
Wow, okay.
And,
And Mr. Pluto?
I'm Pluto, British member of Oda Clan as Shogun second in command. Started playing as a teenager with Warband, just on like the PlayStation. Recently switched over to Bannerlords, and after playing a lot of single player modded content, sort some stuff out in the multiplayer community.
Well, yeah, we definitely need some stuff to be sorted out, don't we? Well, that's good. Next question then. How did you get into Oda? When was your clan formed, and what was the reason that you formed it instead of, I guess, just joining other teams that were there?
So Oda actually came from Skellige, a previous clan I used to lead slash own, where Pluto was again my second in command. Skellige was built upon a joke and a lost bet, but ended up being a pretty big-sized clan and a pretty well-done clan. After which we merged into VSC, but that didn't go well for us, so we decided to split off and reform, so-called, but change the theme of it to Oda, based on the historical feudal Japan clan called the Oda clan.
I believe I've seen the name in a few places. Would you say that a lot of the people in your clan around now are also previous VSC members, or are they also like just kind of people you grabbed up like from anywhere else?
Well, I'd say about 40% of our current player base is old Skellige who went to VSC and then followed me again to Oda.
Okay, and what is the culture of VSC? Is that like Eastern, like Asian culture as well, or is that a different thing?
No, Volsung clan is based on the Volsung saga from the Old Norse mythology.
Norse. Okay, very good. And you kind of was the East Asian tradition like a personal interest for you, or was it like a group thing that y'all decided to make that change in terms of the culture of your clan, or at least the culture that you base off of?
Uh, well, Oda, the idea originally was taken from one of our members who suggested it when we were about to form as a just another knights based clan, but we found it boring since there's many
Yes.
of that theme already. So one of the previous clan members gave us a shout of like, "Hey, why don't you try something original, like maybe feudal Japan?" And out of all the clans, we liked Oda the most. That's how we took the main idea out of it.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
there's not many sort of East Asian like Kurgit inspired clans. It is a lot of like obviously being an EU community, there's a lot of like Western European knight themed or like Norse Viking. Um but it's sort of like a unexplored sort of like faction style in this game, especially because what like inspired me to help out with forming Oda was the fact that like ever since like Warband, there was like in single player special armor you could get if you explored the haystacks in the River Chegg. You could find a sort of like Japanese inspired armor, and so it's nice to be able to like sort of like bring that theme to a community that has nothing like it at the moment.
Yeah, yeah, it's a great kind of exploration of that idea. You found an Easter egg like so long ago, and it laid a seed that grew fruit today. So that's amazing. What how I guess then you come from a place with a lot of EU clans. You've interacted with a lot of them, but you I guess are seeking to do a different style of it than what is already there, which is definitely applaudable, commendable. And I want to ask, how similar is the Otta clan specifically to other EU clans?
Well, basing off of the hierarchy, I would say all of the clans function on a similar system, at least in EU. I've been a member of many clans in my history of this franchise, and I'd say 90% of them are based on a hierarchy that needs to be followed. We did copy that, which is something that I repeat myself, I think every clan has,
Hmm.
but we put our own style into it. We allow for way more freedom than some clans. We are mostly here to have fun. Our members are well taught when we can do bullshit, do some stuff we cannot do well. For example, having a clan battle on native against another clan. When it's time to be organized, we are very well organized and we're very strict regarding it. But when it's nothing serious, we play other games, have fun. We're building more than a clan, I would say, community rather.
This is the I guess a natural progression, right? You make a clan just to have fun, and then you get more people, more and more people coming, and then some people don't play games with you, but they'll still hang around in VCs. They'll still chat, show you what they've been working on in real life, such other things like that. Do y'all have a lot of those members? Like I call them support community members, ones that don't really play the game but are still fully Oda.
I would say we do actually. I mean, I've got multiple people, including one of my leadership members who recently stepped down from leadership to be an advisor for the clan. He doesn't really play Bannerlord that much, but engages with the community, helps out wherever he can. He on a daily basis interacts with everybody, make sure everyone's happy with how things are going, updating everyone on stuff that needs to be updated. We have other people too who aren't in such high positions. I'm not gonna name drop, but we have a couple peasants, a couple of Shigaru in our ranks who are not here strictly for Bannerlord, but also come and play Bannerlord sometimes with us.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I think the biggest thing that helps communities not like fall apart after an argument, or like or someone doesn't like the way things are run and they just leave. The thing that prevents that is like making more reasons for you to be somewhere than just the game that you're playing. So having knowing that Aura is one of these places that actually values that is wonderful. Haven't really touched on a lot of the other EU clans, so I wonder how different that is from the average, but something makes me feel like that's a unique, something slightly unique in your case. Um, so moving on just a little bit on the subject of Bannerlord, the game. You mentioned that you play other games, I think a little. Do you play a lot of other games, or is it just like Bannerlord like 80%, and then you'll play here or there whatever else people like?
Well, for the most part, we play Bannerlord officially, and then whenever we're not on Bannerlord, example, we play a lot of Total War, like too much, some might
Yes.
say. Men of War franchise, it's a great game in my opinion, and we kind of always focus when playing other games. We'll play some strategy games, thinking through like we're a community with a lot of people who like that genre, the strategy. So that's why we try to focus our other games time on that, even Paradox games. Lately, we've been snooping around some other stuff like Valheim, etc. But we always try to like keep it in the style or genre.
That's good. That's good. And that's how you really know, like, you can you get off into the game and play it like Call of Duty. I'm talking about Bannerlord. But it's a lot more fun when you play it like with actual, thinking about what you're doing instead of just, kill, and then I died and find a reason to blame it on someone else. Yeah, I love Total War as well. I know a lot of clans in NA, they love to play Total War. I know some clans play Total War like together, like cross community. So that's wonderful. I don't know a lot of other games that y'all mentioned. I know Valheim's pretty popular. But yes, so you do play other games. You like to be within the same genre, but spreading yourself out so you don't get burned out. That's definitely important. I love that.
Yeah, like fairly I would say fairly recently, it was quite a bit ago. Like last year we had a inter-clan sort of like Age of Empires 2 tournament happen. Um so that was like teams of three, if I remember right. That was teams of three as like all different clans like House Blackwood, BD. That was back when we were Skellige. But yeah, host as well. Yeah, all of the clans just doing a tournament together.
And Skellige, is the abbreviation for that SKLG? Is that clan?
Uh,
Yes. Recently, there has been an NA clan using that tag,
Okay.
but it's a
Okay.
separate entity to what we were.
That's a different thing. Interesting. Because I have seen that name, but I don't know how big the group is or what exactly it is. I haven't had them on the show yet, so maybe that's for next time. But yeah, so just to make sure there are two different SKLGs as of now. Okay. Um so within Bannerlord, so we talked a little bit about games that are similar to Bannerlord or kind of, tangentially related. Back on the subject of Bannerlord itself, as a clan, as Oda, what game modes? So like Captain, Skirmish, if y'all do like line battles, there are like RP events. What game modes do y'all like the most and the least? What is your most and least favorite game mode?
well, personally, I am not a big fan of some of the events we attend, but also I know 90% of the community appreciates those events heavily. So we attend 3 events a week, for example, two of which I am on the organizing team, so that helps them. We also play a lot of persistent mods, no matter which persistent mod it is. What's important is that it's persistent. We gave a shot recently to Persistent Empire's New Era, which ended up being a failed project. We're waiting currently for Persistent Bannerlord EU launch, which we expect to be rather big because of some insider information we have. Honestly, thinking it might be a big chunk of completely new people coming to the community of multiplayer. I really think that's a good thing. Also, we like to play recently revived CRPG a lot. It's a mod combat roleplay game for Bannerlord multiplayer. We run some group fights on a daily basis. There's a group fight happening in Oda. And my favorite, we play skirmishes sometimes.
So you'd say like skirmishes is your favorite, and we like line battles, like the big multi-clan events. Those are like kind of lower on the list.
Yeah, I was part of multiple Bannerlord Native League teams, which were rather fun games to me. Don't know how knowledgeable you are on the format of BNL, but it is very simple. And it genuinely shows like the skill differences between players, and that's what I appreciate about it so much. And yeah, I would agree that the actual events are somewhere lower on the list for me.
Interesting. Okay. And Pluto, I'd love to get your thoughts on that as well.
Yeah, as I said, the sort of like battle events we attend three at the moment. There's one in particular that I like the most, which is the CI event on EU with the
Yes, sir.
Coronis Ibericast. That is, I think, my favorite one because that also has a sort of like RP element going on with it, which is I think like not very like explored much in multiplayer Bannerlord right now. Um, and it's like a lot of players really like the RP.
Yes.
Um, because I think the main thing with like Bannerlord as well is that it is at the end of the day a role playing game, especially like single player when you have mods such as the Old Realms, which is a Warhammer Fantasy mod. That's a complete overhaul. I think I think it's called Pelennor. Did that get updated to Bannerlord? It was like an old warband mod. Um, I might be thinking of the wrong one. Uh, so yeah, that one's really fun. Generally, yeah, it's sort of like some events mix, like some turn into like just slogfests, a giant team deathmatch, and then others turn into a more organized like shield wall sort of fighting.
Yes. Do y'all
But
y'all play in the Ottoman Crusade events? Those are some of my favorite because you really have to know what you're doing or else you get destroyed.
no, I've never heard of that one before.
Oh, those
Is
yeah,
that
they're
NA
wonderful.
or EU?
They're EU actually. They're run. I think they're run by a Turkish clan. Um, but I think I will send you the link to that server. Actually, I can do that right now.
All right, thank
Yeah,
you very
they're
much.
wonderful. They're kind of like the other like clan battle events. KTE, BRE. What else? Like HA used to do. I think KOH runs them too. CI used to be my favorite, but I always will love CI. I've just played so many more that it's top 10, maybe not top 5.
Yeah,
Here, I
that's
put the
fair.
link in
Yeah,
the group chat.
thank you very much.
Okay.
Um,
So we'll I guess get any final thoughts on that if either of you had them, and or we'll move on.
I was just gonna say, sorry. Yes, we attend KT events on Thursdays and Fridays, Thursdays and Sundays. Sorry. Um, I think skirmish is a fun game mode, but we do not really play it right now. Uh, I sort of like think there probably should be a bit more like organized content around skirmish personally, but
I know a lot of people like skirmish. It's personally one of my least favorite. There's not a lot of
it's fair.
well, I won't say why. This is not for me to talk, but yes, skirmish definitely does a lot for personal skill. It's definitely a good way to train. Anyway, though, we will move on. Let's see. So regarding the communities of EU and NA, being mostly separate right now, are you familiar with a lot of the stuff in NA, whether it's like games, teams, relationships, or kind of anything like that? Is there, I guess, any basis of reference that you have, or is EU kind of, or is NA kind of like a whole different game for y'all?
I mean, I have a vague, let's say, knowledge about NA.
Played with them or interacted with them. They've been great lads, and that's about it, really.
Yes, I know. They love to play a lot of the EU and NA events. One of the biggest and best claims to, I guess, fame and credibility that the Franks has is that they do actually love the game of Bannerlord, and you know that because any competition, any event, they'll try to be there. So
Yeah.
there's a real appreciation in that sense. But continue. Oh,
That's pretty
if that
much
was
it.
all you had. Um, I would say that there is a lot of talk about EU. Not a lot, but there's some talk about EU, like on the surface in NA, but there's not any communication from what I know on a clan to clan scale or like even a team leader to team leader scale. I know that some
Yeah.
people from EU or NA will like go to the other teams, but I mean the only references that I have from EU are from EU players. In the few conversations I've gotten to have with them about that scene, it doesn't seem actually like two different, but maybe maybe the differences and similarities is a whole nother conversation for a different show. So the next question I'll ask is, within EU, are you aware of any outside of like the events, like the line battle events or anything like that? Are there any multi-clan projects going on? Like, I know you mentioned the EUPB came out recently, I think, or PW or something like that. Are there multiple different clans working on that, like as a project, or is there any other projects? Trying to.
Well, yeah, so PE New Era, ran by Mr. Do, which was a failed attempt number 4, I believe. Was the most recent, let's say new, even though it's an old thing coming back, attempt. I would say that persistent Bannerlord on EU servers has probably, other than the events, of course, the most players on it. Sole reason being is because it's, in my opinion, the most stable mod we've had on Bannerlord multiplayer so far. And I genuinely believe that like the developers are putting in so much work, like that mod could be a game of its own.
A game of its own. Let's hope for it. Let's hope for it. Um, okay. So you mentioned also previously, like in these events that you run, you're an admin, right, or one of the organizers.
Yes, I'm part of the organizer team for the KT events on Thursdays and Sundays.
So I've wanted for a long time to have someone on the show who had those like that experience of like moderating in the community or moderating in game, or just kind of that general sphere of activities. What what does it take to do that kind of thing? Like for the new players, say like they're new players watching here, or just average players who are like, maybe I want to help out with some of these events. Like, where do I start if I was wanting to admin for one of these things? What skills do I need?
Well, from my opinion and my experience, the most important is the communication skills. Because if you do not have the communication skills, I doubt you could find your way into that, even as a start, let alone as a working member of the team. I also believe that the knowledge of like rules is probably the second most important factor, due to organizers and admins being in charge of making sure everybody follows those set rules in the in-game actual battles. Example, cavalry sticking with formations, not using lances against infantry when they're not supposed to, archers splitting too far up, infantry units doing God knows what type of ambo. But it's in general it's pretty simple. The rules are not extensive as some other mods offer, but in my opinion, the rules are made so everyone will still have fun if they respect them.
If they respect them, yes. So if you respect the rules, yeah. If you don't respect the rules, shouldn't be playing the game. Honestly, that's what we need to tell to a lot of NA people. If you don't respect the rules, maybe don't play the game. Uh, but yes, thank you for that. So you said number one is communication. You have to be able to communicate, I assume, both like laterally and vertically. You have to know the rules so that you can enforce them correctly. And what was the third thing?
The third thing is just like being able to compromise in a team, in my opinion.
And compromise. Good. Okay, well, yeah, so now y'all know that. So if there's anyone here who wanted to, start a career of adminning or moderating or anything like that, those are three skills you should work on. And if you already have those skills, the next question you need to ask is, I guess, who should I talk to? So let's ask that then. If I was in EU right now and I wanted to help out with some of these events that you're helping out with, even, who should I talk to get started with that?
For example, you can reach out to me as being part of the organizer team. I can discuss it with the other organizing and admin members, which the organizers will decide on you partaking in it or not. which is kind of the whole reason the team functions so well, is because we closely choose who to accept into it and who not to accept into it.
Amen. Yeah, we definitely need more of that too. Okay. So next question. Overall, and since we're still in kind of the EU side of it, we'll start with the EU and then go to the NA. What advice from you or from TAOC, or I guess you could do both, um, and also you as well, Pluto. What advice would you give to the EU community in general?
Well, the EU community has changed a lot over the time. It's not the same people as it was on PW, and generally the world we live in right now has changed a lot since then. But I think the longest standing one that was where they even back then and is where they still now is don't give up so easily. One loss doesn't mean everything's gone to shit. Uh, Follow the people you want to follow. Don't be forced to do anything. And Bannerlord players as a group on EU, as a community, they really need to try being more understanding of each other rather than this constant toxicity, this community projects sometimes in some specific clans and communities within it.
Okay, that's a good answer. Mr. Pluto, what advice would you give?
It's sort of the same thing, you know. It's we're not living in a multiplayer community that I don't think is at its healthiest right now. Hopefully, the War Sales update will help to fix that bit with getting new people encouraged to play. Nah, I think that's mainly down to fucking Tail Worlds fucking fumbling the ball with this game. Um, but essentially, yeah, is keep on playing the way you want to play. If you want to leave clans, switch clans, that's fine. Um, and yeah, to the sort of like clans themselves, rivalries are good. The some toxicity that's happened in the past is not so good. As sort of just like make sure everyone in the community is having a good time should be the priority of every single clan leader.
That's a good point. The priority of clan leaders should make sure, or should be to make sure, their boys are having a fun time, that they want to come back. That no, we don't even have to go further than that. If you want to come back and you have fun when you do come back, then that's mission accomplished. Um,
Exactly.
okay. So, we can move now to the NA community. This is where all the clips are going to start showing up. What advice would you give to the NA community as a whole?
From my perspective, what I know of the NA community, I'm gonna focus a bit more on the persistent mod side. I've noticed a major lack of players actually playing the game without everything being organized, and then later complaining that the mod is not persistent. For mods specifically, persistent Bannerlord that the NA community currently plays, I believe, is the whole point of it is to be persistent, but persistency cannot happen without players playing it. So the NA community as a whole needs to realize that they are the ones running the show, not the clan leaders themselves, because you cannot always expect a clan leader to go around pinging other clan leaders, hey, let's do content, hey, let's do content. That's gonna lead to people losing interest into the game and completely abandoning the mod and God knows, maybe the game itself.
Hmm. Now there was I did a roundtable with a few clan leaders talking about PB, and someone said pretty much exactly what that was, which was I think the quote was, when the clan leaders speak for the whole community, or all the players that aren't other clan leaders, then the community loses its voice. So I think that's yeah, it's obviously quite true. If you're not allowed or encouraged or given any access to do anything outside of an established structure, then you really just can't. So
Yeah.
a wonderful thing. Yeah, it's a wonderful thing. Like y'all's clan starting up, breaking the mold, going your own way, doing what works, not what other people are already doing.
Yeah. And just to add on to that last bit you said about business Bannerlord, I think a lack of what we have right now is a lack of sort of like general community managers, which is what NEP sort of like tried to help a bit with. Is sort of like, I think there needs to be sort of like a couple like key members who are like can be accessed by anyone across any clans, come to them and talk to them about the problems and not just their clan leaders.
Yes, yeah, somewhere you can, I guess, share grievances or talk, to maybe vent. I know a lot of VCs have venting, but it's not a guarantee you won't get a DM from somebody, asking about a conversation that they weren't there for. So definitely CMs. Do y'all have a lot of CMs in TOAC, or maybe maybe training any?
By CMs, I assume you mean leadership members,
Yes,
as
like
that's kind of what.
community members.
Uh,
Yeah. Wait, no,
I mean, from the
CLs, not
leadership,
CMs. I made a mistake there.
CLs.
Yeah, community leaders, like pillars of the community, kind of thing.
That yeah, we have about 7, 8 now at the moment. Soon enough, I'll be opening that position to a couple more, because of our exponential growth. It's really hard for all the leadership to keep up with the amount of players that is joining us, which is honestly an incredible amount lately. Even I myself, who have years and years of experience leadership, leading, organizing, even running my own business, I sometimes get overburdened with the amount of people asking me questions all at the same time. So the more people that the leadership team has, the easier the function will be of the clan.
Oh, well, good principles there. Good principles. Learned through real life experience as well. I definitely won't want to dox you by having a conversation about your IRL career, but maybe you could help share some more life lessons from that when the cameras are off. I'm definitely curious about that. Um, Toward the next question then, what would the multiplayer Bannerlord community as a whole, so this is NA plus EU, all of the players and the clan leaders and the CMs and everybody who plays this game, what would be most beneficial for us as a whole community, outside of just Tail Worlds giving us more attention, because that's the answer everybody else gives.
Yeah. I think sort of like more player-driven multiplayer mods would be an excellent sort of addition right now. A sort of big complaint that I've seen a lot of people say about Persistent Bannerlord is the fact that sort of that it isn't as much persistent as basically the end point of Persistent Bannerlord is that people will surf, you will get gear, and then you fight. And sort of like the last 2 weeks of the mod will sort of be like the dying stage, because surfing has become useless after everyone's castles are filled up with stock. It's sort of just like your own ego booster. And so I think like injecting some more like variety into that would be good. I know at the end of the day, Bannerlord is a combat game.
Yes.
Um, but with the persistent mods, sort of like a fresh take almost with the sort of like surfing and civilian side of it would help, I think. I did have another thought. And yeah, as I said, sort of like I think like more RP based mods, or sort of
RP
like
based
more
mods.
RP based mods or battles that like serve a sort of meta progress role would like I think helps players with a bit of fulfillment.
Okay.
And it's like because we could show up to like KTE events and like lose like 3 weeks in a row and like people aren't feeling great about it. Not saying we do that, but as an example. Whereas like with something with like CI, for example, they have a campaign map. It's like if whichever side wins the battle gets like a little bonus for the next one and such. So I think a couple maybe sort of like meta progress would be good for sort of like people who are more engaged in RP, as like you can build your clan story a bit more.
Yes, and I want to give
Yeah.
a shout out really quick to Kume. I don't know if he's like an NA or an EU player. I don't really actually know much about him, but he
Yes.
makes YouTube content, and for the CI
Yes.
events, he makes those videos. And I think KOH makes those videos as well. They have a streamer who makes similar content. So
Yes.
I love that. I think that is something that would get thousands and thousands of people here immediately if we could do more of that. And I think like what you're saying is absolutely true. If these same battles that we were doing week after week, day after day, if those same battles were like more important, each one, because you knew it was going to be in a video, or you knew it was going to get written down somewhere, or you knew it was like these are going to be bragging rights for the whole community, that would, I think, increase player retention, yes, but also passion. It would prevent people from just going in and just fucking around as this is just another event. If we
Yeah.
wanted to take it seriously, like if you want to actually have it RP, I think that would be a fantastic, wonderful idea. More content, more player driven RP, like you said, more period.
Yeah. Exactly. My thoughts pretty much. Kume is the fucking greatest thing that's, in my opinion, has come to sort of like Bannerlord content that's shown on YouTube. His like videos with like the start of the battle showing how everyone's set up, how like the battle engaged and stuff. I think that's fucking wonderful.
Yes.
Um, and there should be more like it, because that is one of the things that made me hop on Persistent Bannerlord, because he took a video of a siege and like broke it down almost like, I don't know if you've ever seen it, but what are they called?
The Kings and Generals
The
one.
channel Kings and Generals. Yes, he
That's the
does it in
one.
that style, and that's great. And yeah, as I said, with the persistent content, like season 1 of Rasfadal, which is the Coronis Barracus map, ended in a siege scenario, which was fun as well, because we were playing like field battles and it culminated in a siege. I was like, that was a great sort of progression into the end of that season.
Yes. And we have in the comments here, Dennis Goja says, I got into Bannerlord because of Chancellor Blacksmite from KOH, one of his videos. So we have lots of people making content. I've heard that name before as well. I think I was watching a video from Chancellor Blacksmite a few days ago, if not a week ago, or something like that. So some familiar names out here. Let's get some more names. Why don't we have Dennis Godja 27 making some videos, eh? We can shout you out too. Jaro also, hello Jaro in the comments, says more CC style events. CC is great. We were just talking about this, I think, yesterday or a few days ago. CC is wonderful because it's a little bit like, it reminds me of Call of Duty. You just easy play the game. You don't even have to turn your brain off. As long as you have earphones, you can play. You can enjoy yourself, and do it how you do it. Something like that is awesome. And I think Jaro had an idea to bring that concept to more things, but that's I'll save that for the end. I will bring that up at the end. Anyway, any last points on that, or should we move on?
Well,
Did
I'll
you
just
have
go
any?
out of the way and say about the content creators that I think I know. I've worked with Blastmite. I know he's creating currently a new event that's going to be heavily campaign based. That's a project he's currently working on, which I'm going to bring Oda to, because I believe more campaign driven events will retain more incoming players, which will help not only the community but the clans in the community grow. And I also just want to say Cume is a great guy. I've had the honor of hosting him in my clans not once but twice, so he's really a peach to work with. It's great when he does his videos. He originated from Vestmar Dominion with his YouTube channel, and I think ever since he started doing those, a big number of new players joined up to the persistent mods side of Bannerlord.
Yeah. You should, I think, yeah, you should keep doing that. I will try my best to keep making content. Everyone here should try their best to make some content, and support the content as well. Even if you don't watch it, share with the guy who might. That'll make us all better. And if we can get 20 extra guys, that's a mission accomplished. If we can get 50, mission accomplished. 300, that'd be great. But the sharing, the making, the supporting, very, very big in terms of actually making the content successful, actually making it worthwhile. What forms of like sharing content do y'all have besides just like putting the links in the Discord servers? Do y'all, signal boost it in any other ways?
Well, personally, what I found, I used to post BNL tournament videos, which used to get about 1,000 views. What I did for those is there's a huge following for them on Reddit. For some reason, Tailworld forums helps with that. There's very little resources for it, but those that are available are actually like very sufficient regarding how big this community is.
Okay, so Tailworld's forums and Reddit for signal boosting. You get so you find some nice successes there. I just not I'm ashamed to say that those aren't avenues that I have previously gone down, but I'm not above you putting my links over there. Okay, moving on. Just a reminder before we move on, support any content you see for Bannerlord. This one, Kume, Blacksmith, Gillen the Grey, he's another one. He's EU. Who else makes content? Matt's Fiefdom makes content for Bannerlord. Warbandman makes content. That's what, 5, 6 names. So there you go. Moving on to the last question of this section, and then we'll go to the other section. What advice, direct person-to-person advice, do you have for new players? So this will be of NA and EU. This is all the community. What advice do you have for new players, average players, and other clan leaders? So we'll start with just the new players.
Well, personally, I always say to new players, because we get a lot of newcomers like completely new to the game, don't give up after a single loss, because a single loss in this community is just one little step in a staircase. It can be put in that metaphor, let's say, because the more steps you step on, the closer you are to the, let's say, end goal.
Wise words.
Yeah. So same thing. It's play, honestly, to new players. Playing is the only way you improve. And as a former leader of a clan once said to me, you don't have to get the most kills. At the end of the day, you need to be alive in a shield wall, and your shield needs to have been broken from blocking and protecting your teammates. That is the number one way you win in like a field battle, for example. You don't have to get the most kills, you just need to be present with a shield, and you can contribute.
And you can contribute. You hear that? I know a lot of NA clan leaders are tearing their hair out and yelling, but it's true. This is true. Okay, so as for the average player, the everyday Joe, gets home from work or doesn't work and just turns on a computer and starts playing. What is the advice from Oda to the average Joe?
Well, to the average Joe really depends, because there is people who want to continue being the average Joe, and then there's people who genuinely want to improve at the game. We've had a few newcomers who came as an average Joe, and ended up being one of the sweatiest players of our clan. Especially my Kingsguard. Two of them came to me, brand new players, which I have the ability to say, and I'm proud to say, I made into some of the better players in the EU community. And all it took me was 5-6 hours spent personally on each one of them, because there is so little mechanics in this game that you can learn, but the gap of differences between knowing a game mechanic to a certain level is so high in this game that, let's say, take example fainting. A lot of average Joes, your words not mine, don't know how to faint. Fainting like is a huge part of this game on the multiplayer scene, of course,
Mm-hmm.
and learning such small things, small mechanics, such as fainting, can improve your gameplay by so much that you no longer have to be an average Joe.
So you'd say the difference between the people who want to stay as average Joe and the people who want to, get better and be, on the high heights of the ladder. The difference is the willingness to commit to training and learning and taking advice from, the people who know what they're talking about.
Yeah, that would be it. Putting it shortly, I would say.
Good. Okay, so now, Pluto, did you answer that one? I think I skipped you.
It's just same advice. If you want to seek out, if you want to like get better at the game itself, what you have to do is just ask like your clan leader. They tend to be really good at the game. Just ask for like a couple hours of their time, and you will improve immediately. Just from like experience training with them.
Yes. And I definitely will agree to that for, all of the vices and virtues of the NA or EU clan leaders and everyone I've interacted with that's a clan leader, they tend to be incredibly good at the game, like insanely good at the game. There's only one exception that I know of, but not even worth elaborating on. So, if you are in like a server, like a dual server, or like a TDM server, and here's something that I actually do personally. When I'm, in a server getting dogged on, or, I just don't know what I'm doing, or like, I warmed up and I was playing really well, and then suddenly it just clicks and I'm doing bad again. Don't be afraid to just ask for like tips, like, hey, like, what am I doing wrong? How did you kill me that time? Is it too easy? Like, what should I do better? These can be, people you've never talked to before. They can be clan leaders. They can be, people who just got done shit talking you. It doesn't matter, because if they shit talk you for 3 hours and then give you a tip that improves your gameplay, that they did a positive for you, because you're going to forget all the bad stuff and you're just going to keep winning, right? So take that advice, ask for the advice, and there's nothing bad that can come from that, I think. Okay, so lastly, well, not lastly, but as far as this question, what is y'all's advice to other clan leaders, both NA and EU?
I'm gonna personally put this a bit harsh, but stop being bitches. It's I've seen disband. Too many clans starting to boycott mods and shit just because of a single loss or two. I can say this with certainty. I was a sole reason a clan disbanded a year ago, because I sieged them 24 times in 4 days, which is 6 sieges a day.
Yo,
I know,
what?
I know. I wanted that damn castle, and I got it in the end.
Oh, you got it in the end.
And I got the castle in the end. Took us only 25 losses to get that one victory, to get that fucking castle. But the point is, they were so annoyed by it, the leader of it disbanded the clan. Like, it's 6 days of you being sieged. Wow, big deal. If I lost 150 times right now on a battlefield, I would not disband Oda. Just because I know, like, I am a very stubborn person, yes. But I know for a fact that no matter how hard you will try, you will not break my will. And that's the community I build.
Yeah. Uh, Are we allowed to call out people EXO or no?
I avoid personally using names because I don't want to put salt on anyone's wounds, but you do, mate.
Alright, let's just say some clan leaders have very strong personalities. And as EXO said, sometimes their clan can be a bit of cult of personality. Um, and what's happened to us recently is that we've had refugees from another clan that stopped playing a persistent mod. Um, and it's like their players want to play, but because of their clan leader, a lot of them aren't. It's a bit disappointing to see, basically. Um, so yeah, just try and keep a positive mindset. You know, it's just a game, and we all want to play it, and we all want to play as a large group as possible. I think.
That's true.
Like when Persistent Bannerlord was last dying, because it goes through cycles. Obviously, it was Oda clan and a clan called the Eisengraf Legion, or EGRF. It was pretty much just us and them on the server till the end, just constantly sieging each other. And it was like it was constant back and forth, but like neither of the clans were toxic about it, even though we did get like killed a couple scummy ways a couple times, but we did the same to them a couple times as well. It's the game, and it's like I think we built like a decent rapport with those guys. It was pretty fun to play against them. Um, and yeah, it's like that's an example of like, yeah, we could be rivals. Doesn't mean we have to be like complete assholes to each other. Um, I think clan leaders just need to keep that in mind for the future.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think that would be good too. I used to have a regular question that I would ask, like, who is your biggest ally and your biggest rival, and some I don't want to say like read it wrong, but they gave an answer that was more leaning toward drama than toward just like who you fight against the most. And I think that is
Yeah,
a good point. Like a rival is supposed to be someone who, you understand that they can beat you, so that when you beat them, it's very satisfying, but they're also a danger,
yeah,
so you can't mess around. So there's kind of an equality, a back and forth, a a true struggle. And the thing with rivalry is that it only exists, right? It only exists between the organizations. It doesn't exist between the people. So people can be in each other's servers, they can love each other, they can share memes, they can VC, they can even do other games together, right? They don't have to hate each other IRL. Goodness gracious,
yeah.
they don't have to hate each other IRL.
As I said, it's like EGRF. They play in KC events, same as us. And it's like we know that they're pretty decent players now. So it's like if they're on a shield wall, I tend to lead our infantry right up next to them because I know they're decent players and they'll fight well with us. And it's like I'm not bringing any sort of like bad stuff from PP at all into that. I just want to play the game,
Yes, yeah, we
and
want to play, and we want to win the game.
yeah.
And we want to win the game. And I'm still in the back of my mind is still the story of you lost the battle for the castle 23 times, and you still just said, yeah, I can get it this time. That's big. That's big determination there. That's impressive. Okay. So that was the last for the first section. This next section is a little bit shorter. Hopefully you also have enough time. We can dip out anytime we want, anytime we need. But until then, we will continue. Before we do, though, we have some comments here. A Apenamon, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Apenamon says, posting a few vids in hope to get a few more players on the server is generous. I believe so as well. Thank you for that thought. Yeah, I think it does take a lot of work, a lot of time. And this is just coming from like an amateur, not even the actual good content creators like Matt Swieftum. We were talking about Kume earlier. Like that shit probably takes 8 times longer than any of my stuff. So that, yes, it's very generous, it's very selfless, and we appreciate it for many reasons. Jaro again says LLL07. I assume to that same story of the 25 sieges. Good God. And then sort of matches Zalek's opinion when you said Clan leaders just need to stop being bitches. So we all seem to
Yeah.
be.
Sorry, I just wanted to add on to that last point. For the next persistent Bannerlord launch on EU, we've had talk of a streamer called Tommy K is like wants to bring himself and his community to the game. For example,
Wonderful.
I think he's played the game a couple times before, but he's probably like seen a video of like the sort of persistent content, and I think like a good thing to do is with the video content creation is trying to make it look as attractive as possible to come play, because
Yes.
then we'll encourage more people to make like react contents like crazy sieges or battles or whatever. I think that sort of thing would be helpful. As I said, we're not in the most healthiest of game communities. It's not like we're not having thousands of players come in every week.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we were. I wish we were like maybe like CK3 or some of those other Paradox games. You have every couple months a new video, like here's how to start out in this Paradox game, and it gets like 250,000 views. It's like, are there really this many new
Exactly.
people? Yeah, there are really this many new people. They could be playing Bannerlord too. So
Yeah.
yeah, and these thumbnails, I'm looking at Tommy K's channel right now. There's some funny thumbnails, but yeah, these are good numbers. These are very good numbers, more than the average Bannerlord video gets. I'll tell you that. All right.
I mean, the idea of Tommy K coming to Bannerlord is, I don't know if you were here for Asmongold's stream, but
I was not.
which the idea is to, so basically what Asmongold did, the community was in a recession, let's say. We're getting less and less newer players, and the older players were kindly fucking off slowly. So the idea with Asmongold coming to stream Persistent Empires back then, it was to get a new and huge influx of newer players, which did work out very well. There is a lot of players who came from Asmongold's stream, like currently in high positions in clans, just because it's been so long since it. So I guess what the community here is trying with Tommy K is him doing that again. Like the servers when Asmongold came to it were topped up. People were on a wait list to join a server just because he brought too many people.
Yeah, it wasn't built for it. That's one thing I did hear about the server stability issue.
Say one thing for Tail Worlds in their games: say they're unstable as fuck.
Well, I don't know if there's any like very popular Turkish YouTubers, but if there are, maybe we should reach out to them, get a collab going, be like, hey, what, would be great. It would be great if we could get Erdogan on this show. I might have a CIA file on me now, but maybe maybe that's what it takes to get this game into the stardom.
Public funding from the Turkish government.
Yeah, we'll get a crowd fund going. Maybe pay. I don't know what the conversion rate is. I can't imagine it's incredibly close.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, sorry to
Anyway,
sidetrack after.
no. It's an open conversation here. Next question. Who is your favorite clan leader in EU? This is just personal to personal, maybe best friend, maybe this guy, is the one always planning events with me, or any reason whatsoever. Who is your favorite clan leader in NA or EU?
I feel like if I don't say EXO, I'm gonna get demoted.
Besides
Ah,
outside
you,
of this
you
VC,
give them
who is your
opinion.
favorite clan leader outside of this VC?
Uh, Sorry, I'll just go first for this. My favorite clan leader. Actually, EXO, you go first. I'll have to think about this for a minute.
Yeah, I'm also thinking about it for a
Okay, why don't
bit,
we
but
jump? We can skip this one and jump to the next question, and then while you think about it, we'll come back later. Um, what would you say, or how would you describe the ideal demographic of the Mountain Blade community? So if we were going to start like like when you make content, a lot of people who give you advice on it will say like figure out who you're trying to make videos for and then tailor it to that kind of demographic. So if, for example, we were going to make content or make a plan or I don't know, start a business or whatever relating to this, what is the demographic of Bannerlord that should be?
Middle-aged men in their 30s who love medieval history.
And speak English.
And speak English. Maybe as a second language or a first.
No, that was a bit of a joke, but yes, I think English content is the best way to reach all the players. It's people who enjoy history that play this game, I think, a lot. Age-wise, it's sort of skewed. Like, we have quite a few young members in our community who just like think the idea of the game is cool. So it's sort of just trying to showcase sort of like the unique aspects over something like why would you play this game over something like Chivalry 2 um or even like Call of Duty as a point of reference. Just like it plays a lot different, it's very unique, I think, sort of like combat system um in comparison, well, say that roughly, yeah.
Okay.
So, Exo,
Middle-aged
your thoughts?
men who love history. Yeah, I mean, if you look around at the various interviews that I've done, I definitely understand that the demographics are a lot older than I assumed. Just because, video games, you assume it's mostly young people, but no. That's probably another reason why the population of this game is so low. It's because like it is kind of a specific demographic. There isn't a lot of periods of history covered in Bannerlord. So it's kind of
Yeah.
understandable.
This isn't a game where you require like StarCraft 2 where you require like a billion inputs per second, it's quite a deliberate game. So I think like it appeals to a bit more of like the non-mainstream gamers. Um Obviously you do have to be a bit quick sometimes depending on how you're dueling, but generally it's a bit slower.
Yes, definitely is slower than a lot of other games. The objectives change less depending on the style of how your clan does whatever event they're doing. Um, Oh, Jaro from the comments says the sword community in general. So people who like swords.
Yes.
I know that's actually a very good point because we have many different sword models. Every I think culture has its own model, and then we have the mods that people make themselves where they bring things from all real life or their imagination or whatever. So that's definitely a good point. Um, let's see,
Wait,
sword community in general. Since we don't have Aurelius, this is still Jaro. Since we don't have a realistic combat, we do have a unique combat system. That is true. It is quite unique. I think it's similar to like not Crusader Kings, Kingdom Come Deliverance, and what is that other game? You just mentioned it, Chivalry. Those are a little bit similar,
Chivalry, yeah.
but less. I think definitely Bannerlord is slower paced than Chivalry, but that has its
Yeah.
own benefits and weaknesses. Demographic is the sword community and middle-aged men that are into history. Yes, good. Any final thoughts on that, or we can go back to the previous question about your favorite EU clan leader?
I think I could go back to the previous question
All
and
right.
answer it with no issues.
Yes.
So for me, it would be Rankop, a person who a specific reason for choosing him would be the reason how he retains his players. So basically, Numenor is a clan he used to run on Persistent Empire's project, which the project died out. So not long ago after that, he disbanded Numenor, and a while later, when he wanted to play the game again, he reformed the clan just for a BFL, which is a Bannerlord Field Battle League hosted by King Maskman of Blood Diamond. But basically, he managed to retain more than 40, 50 people with like a single ping in his Discord. And I think that genuinely deserves like a massive amount of respect towards him. He's one of the longest standing members of this community, and I genuinely think if he started playing again, we would get a big bump in the numbers just by his, let's say, clansman coming back to the game.
Very respectable fellow. Good reputation. Well, shout out to, how do you pronounce his name again?
Rankop.
Rankop. Shout out. And you said he was Clan Numenor? Or is that was
Yes, the
his
EU
Bannerlord?
Numenor.
EU Numenor. Good. Okay, and Mr. Pluto, outside of this VC, who is your favorite clan leader in EU?
Uh, the thing is, I don't have too much like intimate knowledge with a lot of these guys. But generally, I think like the guy in charge of host who has stepped down recently in Nazgul, was running Knights of the Hospitaller. He was pretty good from what I could see from my position. I was almost tempted to join them a few times because I know they're like a great clan space sort of like community as well. But again, I'll just shout out sort of like Nalex of EGRF for now they are German, so it was a bit hard to communicate with them. So shout out to them for organizing some content with us a couple times.
All right, well, shout out to Nalex. Is that how you say it?
Nalex and Nazgul.
Nalex and Nazgul from Hospitaller and ES. What was it? ESKG?
EGRF,
EGRF.
Eisengraf Legion.
Eisengraf Legion. Shout out to those guys. Show them love if you can, if you know who they are. Next question then. What do you think makes Bannerlord different from other games? We kind of went over that just a little bit. The pacing, combat style, maybe the graphics. Are there any other concepts of playing this game that you think make it like fundamentally different from playing maybe even those same games, Mordhau, Chivalry, stuff like that?
I mean, one of the biggest differences I would say is community, because I've played Chivalry 1 when it came out. I've played Civ 2. I've played Mordhau, and I've played many other medieval games. The list can go on for ages, and I have to say, like, the Bannerlord community is the most different thing, completely different from any other medieval game community. And that's what makes this game so special in the multiplayer scene is some people don't find themselves fitting in the community they enter, and then they give up, which is a problem in my mind. But I think that the community difference between this game and other medieval roleplay games is huge, and I think that's the biggest factor what we as players can influence. And looking strictly at the mechanics of the game, I'm sad to say this, but with the upcoming video game, which was just released the trailer of, I forgot, it was something medieval. Basically, it's a Bannerlord-like game coming out soon, and
I've heard
I
of this. It's called
genuinely believe,
what is Chronicles Medieval? Yes.
yes, Chronicles Medieval, that's the one. I genuinely believe that might bury Bannerlord single player completely.
Well, hopefully it does bury Bannerlord single player, and then we'll get all those players into multiplayer. Just kidding. Single player is a great experience, but do you think that'll have a very negative effect on Bannerlord, like as a whole, like the multiplayer scene too?
I mean, if we take a look at what happened when, for example, I know it's not the exact same genre, but the city builder known as Bannerlords, when it released,
Yes.
I would say pretty big chunk of players who were enjoying Bannerlord single player, which I have nothing against. I love the game for what it is, but I genuinely think those players should go to multiplayer. That's a different story. A lot of players from Bannerlord single player just went over to play
Bannerlords?
Bannerlords for a quite extensive amount of time, where we lost a couple thousand players on it, I'd say.
Thousands, yeah. We don't have too many thousands to play with in this community. Um, but it's interesting that you said that's a very deep thing you said that what makes Bannerlord different is like the actual community connections that we have. Like I don't know if Chivalry or Mordhau or Kingdom Come have like big communities like that, but definitely it is a good thing to say. It's a good thing to say that we don't have as much community that as we want. That's like kind of the whole point of this series is talking about that. But also that this game has the strongest community of the genre of the like FPS slash TPS like medieval MMORPG. Um, of that kind of whole genre, like this is the best, strongest community. So it's very interesting two very interesting things to hold in your head at the same time.
Yeah, like when did Bannerlord start in early access? Like that was like 2018 or something.
18. Let me Google it. I can Google it. I don't know off the top of my head when Bannerlord came out.
I genuinely forgot. I mean, official release date was
March 30th
25th of
of
October
2020.
2022.
2020. And 5 years on, we're still getting, at least in the EU community, battles that consist of like 400 players at 200v200. I think that's a pretty respectable retention. For like one event, even like obviously the BRE, for example, they're a clan that has fucking 500 members by themselves, probably at this point. And it's like most of them show up to events still, which is insane to me. Like back in Skellige when we played in BRE Friday events, it was like one side of the battle, which was 250 people, was just BRE.
Wow.
As in
Yeah,
one
I
singular
think
clan.
Atria
Now
had like a
BRE is
similar thing in
structured.
their events from NA. So if the NA people needed a reference for that, it's a similar thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's like, but that's BRE structured a bit different. It's kind of funky. It's like it's a clan with things called duchies, which are like subdivision clans, like clan within clans.
Do these well, here's a good question. Do these individual sub clans, these duchies, do they have their own like they have their own like discords, their own like Steam groups and everything, or do they all have the common essentials like Steam and Discord servers?
I think
So,
Exo
as
can
an
speak to that.
ex-member, yeah, as an ex-member of the pretty large clan BRE, which consists of over 1.6k members, about 550 being active ones still. The way BRE is built, it's first of all they use TeamSpeak, not Discord, as it's very useful via channel commander and stuff that TeamSpeak offers. Honestly, TeamSpeak is still my preference over Discord, but 90% of the people don't want to use it, so let's stick to Discord, I guess.
I don't even have
But
it.
the way BRE is made is it originated from a Napoleonic Wars regiment that transferred to Bannerlord, and then now known as Leon Leoncoeur, leader of BRE, decided to start it alongside fuck, I forgot half of their names. It's Balza, also known as Leborn, the leader of the Order, alongside Roderick and what's his name? Esterbert. So those are like the founding members of it. And of course, Armand the Aquitaine, the most renowned strict person in BRE. And Dangon, the Castagne. The Castagne being a sub duchy to a duchy, also known as a what's it called? So it's a duchy. Basically, BRE is split in currently, I believe, like 8, 9 duchies, and each duchy has like 3 smaller divisions on the side of it too. Like it's basically a full army of men You just split into little groups, into a fully functional group with each its own commander being commanded by one person.
Huh. This is this is definitely structured different. I actually don't even know how Atria is structured. Something tells me it's not that intense. Maybe I don't know, maybe
Uh,
the next episode will be the BRE guys. How about that?
I mean,
I
yeah,
doubt you will get somebody from. Yeah,
Probably
maybe.
not.
No, I could send you a contact. Maybe we'll see.
yeah. You
But
might be able to get.
the point is, Atria, I believe they also have a house system. From what I've seen, I've played on their events a bit as a joke when I was bored at 1 to 3 a.m., depending on what time it is. But Atria functions in a way that they're all in Discord, and then the leadership is in a separate TeamSpeak. That's a mechanic that most of the clans use, who use Discord, where leadership can coordinate via TeamSpeak and then give out final orders to the clan members via Discord.
Yeah, that is very interesting. Very interesting. I was reading recently actually the Strategicon by Maurice, and it really tells you like how the Byzantine army was like set up and their systems for doing things, and a lot of the ways that we do battle in Bannerlord kind of reminds me of this stuff, which it makes my brain very happy. It makes a lot of connections. Um, would you say that I guess for big numbers, say like if your clan is more than 60, 80, 100 people, would you say that that's like the best way to organize like chats and voice channels, or do you think that there's something else we should try out?
I mean, as a person who had the unfortunate time of marking for Gondor on NA, uh, having 100 people in the same Discord voice chat is absolute chaos, especially when it's a bunch of American lads, which half of are drunk at the time at playing, can't keep their mouths shut, can't listen to commands, leadership screaming over each other. Like, it's a mess. I genuinely don't like that system. I've always been a enforcer of a very strict function whilst playing official shit.
Hmm.
Yeah. I think duchies are just fun as well. Like you can have your sort of like lower leadership sort of like take on the role of a mini clan leader by themselves. Back during the Skellige days, as we were, Skellige is based off the Witcher country of Skellige, which is itself divided into several clans, so you can have fun like drawing inspiration from that and sort of like theming each subdivision how you want it to be themed. Like, for example, in Oda, if we get more members, we'll sort of like start thinking of like setting up subgroups along the lines of there were like 4 historic branches of the Oda clan, for example. And then we can like theme our subdivisions off that, and where you can sort of like have division like rivalry and sort of like battles and sort of yeah. As you grow bigger, you could sort of like manage a lot more content in house as well as with other clans.
That is huge. Managing events, managing content, relations, like all this stuff that we're talking about on a clan to clan level, like within the clan, that's great. It's definitely something that would keep people engaged. Do you have is it kind of just one level of like you mentioned that there was a sub clan of BRE within another sub clan. Are people allowed to just go however deep they want, or is there like a restriction on how deep you can go in terms of delegation?
So I worked on recruitment for BRE for a little while. The way they have it is they have a recruitment Discord. Every time a person joins, it's a circle of duchies, and each person gets assigned one, and then they go to that duchy or to the subgroup of it, depending on which one needs players at the time.
Um, I think maybe we talked about a bit more like how many players do you think fits in a
Oh, that's a good
And it's sort
question.
of like,
That's a good question. How many players should there be before you make? Well, let's ask it in two parts, right? How many players should a clan have before you start implementing a duchy system or a subgroup system? And how big should subgroups be before you make another subgroup?
Okay, so first of all, I want to ask you a bit more about that question
Okay.
specifically because there's a huge difference between active players and just general members.
Oh, that's true. There is. Um, so let's say in terms of, let's assume that 1 out of every 6, maybe nice round number, 20%, 1 out of every 5 players is questionably active, but 4 are guaranteed active. So out of 4 out of 5 are guaranteed active. 80%, 20% is in flux. If that helps, maybe I should answer it in another way.
Well, yeah, I understand what you want to say, but I'll just put it this way because, no offense, your numbers are extremely unrealistic in today's community and availability of actual players. So basically, how I had it in Skellige when I had my own house system, also known as a duchy system. Duchy is a French word for dukedom.
Okay.
Dukedoms being houses and clans. So basically, how we have it in Skellige is when I reached 40 active people, like on a almost daily basis, I opened up 3 new duchies, houses, whatever you want to call them, subgroups in Skellige. Gave one to Pluto, gave one to a Georgian player known as Kazana, who no longer resides with us. Also given one to a Russian player. Sorry, he's a Polak, but he speaks all of the Slavic languages, basically, known as Jungle. He also no longer resides with us for personal reasons. I mean, we had those duchies, let's keep calling them that since that's how we started, continuously growing, but I had them a bit more dependent that some people have them. Like, my personal preferences, if you're a split group that's part of a larger thing, that split group should organize itself from the inside, whilst others prefer one main person organizing all of the groups and then the groups following that organization of that one person.
yeah.
Okay. So those are the two main philosophies. And would you say that the latter philosophy, the kind of the people in the central leadership at the top decides the way that most groups kind of organize themselves, would you say that that is the more used or the more preferable, or would you say that the previous, the one where groups kind of organize themselves, is the more used and more preferable?
The more used and more preferable is definitely where the higher position people organized everything. It's shown to be more effective. Reason being, it helps when you don't have too many people giving inputs into something because then it just starts to differentiate from what the main idea was.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It does open up too many opportunities for dissent and fundamental disagreement if you're allowing people to decide how they want to be organized. Well,
Yeah.
that's a good point to hit. I'm glad we got to that kind of by accident, but maybe we would have gotten there eventually. Uh, let's see. And that was all of the organized questions, but we don't have to end here if we don't want to. I'll ask the commenters if there are any final thoughts or questions that they have, and then I will also share this with you. There is Jaro, actually, the guy who was in the comments earlier, had an idea, a pitch for just kind of a general thing, like you were talking about. There isn't like a lot of availability for player-driven interactions, player-driven servers, player-driven stories. And there is a guy, Jaro, who drew this up. I'm putting it in the group chat, and the stream can see it. Just kind of an idea on asking, I guess, clans that have servers, clans that run servers, to, if they can, open up maybe a public side of it. I don't really know much on how it would happen technically, but as far as the idea itself, just the words, the concepts, here it is. Hopefully you can screenshot this, share it with people. There are definitely going to be some people that call it a brain dead idea, because there is no idea that won't be called a brain dead idea in Bannerlord. But this one, I think, is actually kind of good. So share this with people. Doesn't matter if it gets criticism. If it happens and it's better for the community, +1. Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
give
Hey, the
y'all a
more the
second to look at
merrier.
that if you had any points on it, or if you had any notes you wanted to talk about for it.
I mean,
Well, I'll personally forward it to people who know a bit more about hosting these type of things, because I am currently working alongside Sonny, an advisor of mine, on a mod pack and a server for Oda, and trying to get those custom samurai armors into the Bannerlord game, you could say.
Well,
yeah.
every little bit helps. Just writing ideas, that definitely helps. I'll try to signal boost whatever I can. Also, I forgot earlier, I was mentioning content creators. If you need a content creator, another one, Sir Lee is also a content creator. Sir Lee, very simple name. Neither of those. He's over here somewhere. Um,
Um, uh,
let's see. Hold on. But as far as that idea, yes, I think the encouragement for people to to ask things too. I guess that's not something we mentioned earlier, outside of like training and asking for advice for like tips and stuff like that. But if you have ideas, ask the ideas. There's nothing wrong that can come with saying like, hey, I think this thing could be better. And you'll probably get shot down, but 1 out of every 10 people will be like, that's a fantastic idea. You're a genius.
I
Okay.
mean,
Sorry, were you gonna say something, Pluto?
I was gonna say to comment on that. It is interesting because like we do have a lot of mods like KT, like CI, where there have been custom maps made, and there's been like a lot of love put into these maps, and they're very cool. For example, on KTE, now this probably wouldn't be added to this, but for example, one of the KTE has like themed events, and one of those themes is Lord of the Rings. Um, and like we do have a Lord of the Rings map, which is so custom and different. It's like super fun to play on. It is actually like interesting from like a gameplay point of view on like where you can hold and stuff. But we have like tons of examples of those sort of maps that's like they only get used in these specific events. Um, and as is their right, obviously. But I think a sort of like map sharing idea would be awesome. I just don't know how that would work too much with like mods and different setups. I'm not sure. As Exo said, I think you would need to talk to people on the actual modding side of the business, sort of like asking, hey, can we like add all these different custom maps into one sort of mixed map variety mod or something?
That would be wonderful. That would be yeah, and I've played on a lot of maps. I stream most of the things that I play because I don't like to waste my gaming time. So I'll record it for somebody so that they can get enjoyment out of it too. I stream most of the games, and a lot of the maps that I've looked at, a lot of the maps that I've played on, I wish we could play them again. It's just like we don't, like, the people that make those fantastic maps, like, they don't host as much as I would like to play. But
Yeah,
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 like I think I know CS:GO. I don't know if y'all are familiar with the game CS:GO. It's a shooting game, but
yeah, of
that
course.
has a lot of the maps that are popular, and even a lot of the maps that, like, the professionals play on in these big, huge tournaments. Some of them are made by the community. They're not all made by like Valve, the producers. So
yeah.
that is something I think we should maybe try to emulate, the fact that you might be able to see this map on different game modes. You might be able to see this map on native servers. You might be able to see this map on maybe another event. is like, hey, this map is perfect for this specific game mode that we're gonna do. People haven't played it in months. Put it on there. That kind of thing. That's just wonderful. Just wonderful.
Yeah, like I think that would involve a sort of like element of community voting, perhaps, because like as you say with CS:GO, like the custom maps, it does have to be maps that everyone agrees is like a
Yes.
good map
Yes.
to
And they
put
do
in
have to
it,
be
and
fixed
it's like
300 times.
yeah, and they have to be roughly balanced. Each side can have like different strengths to it and stuff, but as long as it's roughly balanced, everyone's okay with how it is balanced, then it should absolutely go in.
I mean, I hate pointing to the elephant in the room, but again, that's a huge fault of Tailworld, just not giving the community the option to expand as much as we want to.
Fucking Tailworld. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It would
Yeah,
be
but there's not
nice.
a lot of doors open that we can walk through. We have to bust a hole in the wall.
Honestly, there's such like stuff like that. Currently, again with the Lord of the Rings mod, the mod maker is having trouble implementing like dwarves as a playable race because it's something you can do very easily in single player. Because like the skeletons of the model gets assigned at like the start of the game, whereas in multiplayer, you're spawned in as a human skeleton, for example, and you cannot deviate from that skeleton. As just like this mod creator has contacted Tailworld and got no fucking response about it, and it's like yeah, just wish there was a bit more like tools available to the community and more fucking communication that would allow something like that to exist.
Okay. Um yes, so that is a good point, elephant in the room. I want to ask the audience if anyone that you know or if you speak Turkish. The idea popped in my head that like maybe, they don't answer any of our mail, maybe they don't speak English. Well, I mean, they probably do speak English. Their game is in English, but like, if we had, someone in Turkish, write them, send them a couple letters, a couple emails, maybe we might get some responses back. I don't know if we're emailing them in English, but just to make sure that is covered. That's not. We would hate for Tailworlds to never see us, and that's the reason why. Something like that. Let's. Do you know of any other avenues of getting Tailworld's attention, or is that a lost cause? Because I know a lot of NA people have given up on it completely.
I mean, I've spoken to a manager from Tailwords personally, and the most average response you get is, "We're working on it," or "Maybe."
Yep.
And guess what? Shit never gets done, and that is kind of what's like killing the game. Is just that lack of care from the developers. I mean, hey, sure, it's gonna help if they fix it, but then again, like, other than the official trailer for Bannerlord, which never included multiplayer, there is no real advertising for it, and even though it's actually now a 5-year-old game, I believe there is like still hope for it. Especially looking at, like, for an example, there is currently about 3,000-4,000 people on Warband, which came out 12 years ago. So, like, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at numbers. Why do people still play Warband next to Bannerlord existing? Like, what's going on with that? What's going on with the fact that it took them okay, let's not lie, it took them 4 years since they released the game in early access to come to an official release. It took them 5 years to make the first DLC. It shouldn't realistically take that long, especially from a company as big as Tailworlds, knowing damn well that the community wants it and community needs a revive like that. Like, let's take a flashback to Viking Conquest, a DLC on Warband, or Napoleonic Wars. taking a look at those two, they gave us so much that there was like even multiplayer from a DLC that was originally single player based. By the way, Napoleonic Wars being made from a mod into a DLC. Like, so much was given to us by Napoleonic Wars DLC that even the multiplayer community had a growth spurt, which nobody could, should, or would expect in such scenario.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's like a severe lack of transparency is an issue, I think, as well, because like war sales got announced, and that has come completely out of left field. Like there's been no communication that was being developed. No idea that we were getting any DLC for this game. For like a long time, I think people have assumed this game is just on life support from Tail Worlds. And yeah, it shouldn't be like that. At least in my opinion.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, I don't know. I know there are not new players, right? People who just got the game, so they are still spending money on this game. People make content about it, maybe not as much as Tail Worlds would like, but people still make content about it. I was gonna ask, do y'all know if Creative Assembly is involved at all? Because I know they helped with a little bit with the game, right? Or are they just kind of an engine provider and less of a actual developer?
Only an engine provider for that. But something just crossed my mind that I was just talking about with the other day with the lads. I genuinely believe Bannerlord should make multiplayer free. Reason being is, like, with the game dying, we can stably say it's dying slowly. There is a very small influx of new players, and I believe we would get, hold me to this, tens of thousands of players coming if Bannerlord multiplayer was free.
Yeah.
So if we just switch
That's an
completely
interest.
to a multiplayer game, you'd say like that would be
No. Make the single player the priced game, because that is the core content of this. Let's be honest, like Bannerlord is not a multiplayer focused game. It is a single player focused game.
oh, that's true.
Uh, keep that priced. Make multiplayer free, a separate entity. I think there's another game that does this. I can't remember the. Is there a game that does? I swear there's a game that does this
I
the
think
same
Yeah,
way.
there
CS:GO we were
was.
talking about earlier is free.
CSGO is free, but you need to pay, what was it, like
It's
15 euros or some shit,
$15.
I don't
Yeah.
know. Yeah, for a Prime version, which allows you to play in better lobbies, no cheaters and shit, like protected lobbies, whatever you want to call them.
Okay.
Uh, I mean, it's not a bad example. Yara in the comments, or Jara, I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I'm sorry, I'm European, so we have a bit of a
Jaro.
different pronunciation for such. Jara, okay. Jara gave a great example of Halo Infinite. I know you said it's a bad example, but it's not actually a bad example because it used the same format, making the multiplayer free and taking single player to be the paid part of the game.
However, they completely fucked up the single player. So that was a fucking shit single player.
True.
On release, they were, for example, for Halo Infinite, on release it was supposed to have like co-op play in the campaign, and yeah, did not. They did not have that.
I'm looking
Um,
here at the Steam charts, the concurrent players for Bannerlord, and this line is this line is incredibly sad.
yeah.
This looks like
Oh,
a
that's
stock
right.
that I should have invested in and pulled out right after.
Yeah, Dennis has just brought up a great point. Red Dead Redemption 2. It is a wonderful single player story game, and then there's a multiplayer. It is cheap is priced cheaper. That's the alternative route. You'd have to make it completely free, but you could make it cheaper. I would charge probably again £15 for Bannerlord multiplayer. And then to be honest, the main price needs to come down to like 30 or something on the main game. The fucking like the amount of like missing features that were promised for single player, man. Uh, yeah.
And let's not talk about the co-op campaign that everyone's been asking for the last 13 years.
The co-op like the single player with well, isn't that what Bannerlord Online was supposed to be?
No,
Eh.
BO was based on that idea, but launch as a completely different thing. So Bannerlord Online, also known as BO, I've played quite a bit for it, and we also ran Skellige on that too. Like we always expanded on everything possible to make sure we get as many players as we can and retain them. But the point is, we played BO, and BO is more of a clan v clan thing. They recently released a siege update, so you can do sieges on BO, but it turned out to be jack shit.
Hmm. Damn. Well, I know some NA people have also tried out Bannerlord Online. A lot of people actually like it, from what I hear. I personally hate it. Because it's much too grindy. If they think PB, if they think PB is grindy, you've never played Bannerlord Online. But let's see. I don't know. I mean, I personally don't have too much experience with it. I won't say too much more on it. But NA people don't play it a lot. It's not something that is a big talking point. So I'll let that speak for itself because I haven't done too much thinking on that subject, to be honest. Um, Outside of Bannerlord Online, are there any other modes that like y'all know people are doing with Bannerlord, like that you think we can reach out to? We have Bannerlord Online people, we have single player people, we have uh I don't know who else.
Something I will say is there is a lot of people on multiplayer who are just directed into the wrong direction. Example, like when Bannerlord first came out, other than Skirmish and Captain, which were offered to us, which back then I hated both, not gonna lie. Like, I barely have any playtime on official Skirmish. I always go on EU Matchmaking, which is a Discord server made for people who want to play Skirmish, more balanced and shit. Basically, the point is, uh, a lot of people joins multiplayer, sees a big fat ass play button on their screen, which does nothing because those game modes are dead completely, and completely like stops, decides, oh, I'm not playing this, it's dead, whilst ignoring the option to go to like a custom server list, moddable multiplayer. I think Bannerlord, like Tailworld's introduction to multiplayer, is just way less than it should be.
Yep, yep, yeah. I don't think they advertise it at all, do they?
No, they don't. Like, Bannerlord came out as a single player game with multiplayer options, and that's what it always was for them. And with like genuinely, I am disappointed in that because it hurts the community that was built for it. And specifically looking at people who came from PW to PE and PB, a huge chunk of that was lost due to just tail world servers fucking up non-stop. Not to mention, like, not a proper introduction to it, a lack of an influx of new players to it. Like, every game that has a clan-based system, I don't know what to give as an example at this point. Mordau even has like a understanding, like an understandable tutorial and a guide how to play multiplayer, and it has an advertisement for multiplayer. It's not like set in stone, oh, we're a sandbox single player game and we're not going to do anything about a like branch we offer.
The good
Like
food for
going
thought.
in that
Yeah.
direction, yeah, going in that direction would be same as me making a clan saying, you guys can join as peasants, but a hidden option, aka multiplayer for this example, is instantly becoming leadership. Like, huh? Why would people not want the leadership position advertised? Why would they want to be a peasant? Like, you get the idea.
Yes. Yes, access and communication. I guess communication. We'll try to improve it between clan leaders. We'll try to improve it between players. We'll try to even improve it between continents. Like we have, the United States continent and the European continent talking to each other right now. The only communication that we really, 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 really need is Tail Worlds and I don't know developers. Yeah, developers. Yeah, mod developers, map developers, stuff like that. That would be the end goal. Well, not the end goal. That would be the step, the next rung on the ladder, like you're saying, like the steps to reach the end goal. I suppose that's the next one we need to see. Okay. So I believe I've taken quite a bit of your time and the audience's time, though, for a good purpose, I hope. Were there any final thoughts on any parts of the discussion or anything that you think should leave us off with? Starting with Pluto, and then we'll end on Exo.
Play the game.
Play the game. Play it more.
Yeah. Um, Honestly, that's the biggest thing I can say. Our clan is the older clan. We play on the EU. You are welcome to join, even if you play in NA normally. Yeah. We hope for a more welcoming community always in the future. We hope our mods improve. We hope the game improves, and we will try and work to make that happen.
Amen. Mr. Exo.
Well, I will say, first of all, thank you for hosting us at your show. It is a great honor to be the first European person on your show, I would say so. And I believe genuinely that this game has a very high, how to say this in English, a very high chance of success, but it's not reaching the potential.
I agree. Yeah.
And with it not reaching the potential, it's gonna die.
If you're not growing, you're decaying. Good point. And I will do something rare for Lomiai and leave it at that. I won't elaborate or rant too much. I will say, if you're not growing, you are decaying. And with that, I leave you. Thank you for watching. Look at the description. There's a lot of links there, and I put them there just for you. The description was empty before the stream started, and it now has a lot of stuff there. So go check out those links. Love you. Goodbye, and good night.